Hey everybody, welcome back to Leosophy. I got 3 more questions and I thought I'd do another spinning video. Let's see, I'm going to jump right in. So, do birds distinguish their own songs from human impressions of them? If it's good enough, no. In fact, I've actually called birds on multiple occasions by doing bird songs, things like that. It absolutely works. Same thing with doves. Totally able to call a bird if you have the same remote sounds that they hit. So yeah, they don't distinguish. Let's see, next question. Could spiders ever have wings? No, not in 10 million, 100 million years. Spiders are not going to have wings. Nor are we ever going to discover a species of spider with wings. And here's why. Insects are little. And so, multiple occasions, insects have evolved wings, something you'll see very often. The reason for that is because they are little and they live in a big world, and the adults that's how they find each other, to mate. That's what's important, and that's why only adult insects have wings. Every other age of an insect, it doesn't have wings. And it makes sense because they molt in order to grow. And the downside to having wings if you molt is they could get stuck or damaged. So it makes sense to only grow a pair of wings once in your life. And that's when you reach the point in your life where you're not going to grow anymore. You don't really have that much long left to live, so you can reproduce. That's why insects have wings. It's so they can reproduce, so they can find a mate. Spiders already have a method of doing that using chemicals. They don't have very great vision for the most part, jumping spiders and a few others excluded. So finding a mate's a lot easier for them without that. They can use their silk to balloon when they're really little and they need to travel far. So there's really, at that point, if you think about a spider's lifespan in biology, wings are a liability. They constantly grow. So that would mean they would have to regrow the wings because they don't have a terminal stage except for a handful of male spiders. So it's just not a good idea. It's not plausible. So evolution is not going to take that path simply because it's not a very viable path to take. So that's it for that one. Last question. Oh, this one's very fitting because this is airing on lammas. What are the origins of lammas? So yeah, it's one of those things. I see a lot of neo-pagans actually practicing lammas, but it's actually a Christian holiday with pre-Christian roots, very similar to Christmas and many other holidays. But Lammas is sort of a harvest holiday, and so people celebrate with cross bread, which sometimes they sprinkle in the four corners of a barn or room in order to sort of protect and bless that particular area. They feast with whatever gets harvested that time of year, so bread and fruits, fresh fruits, and wine, and things that we would associate with like harvest festivals. So that's the deal. It's kind of like the summer harvest festival, and then the first day of autumn is the autumnal harvest festival. So that's sort of the deal with Lammas, but it does have some pre-Christian roots, most notably Lunasad. I might be saying that wrong because Celtic is not my strong suit, but I think it's an interesting point to make that the origins of Lammas, or at least the pre-Christian start of a lot of these traditions, goes back to Lu, the Celtic deity, because his mother, pretty much in dying, caused a lot of the plants to grow. And there's actually a word for that. Had to pause it to get that crumb out of my beer that was killing me. There's actually a word for that in a lot of mythologies. They're called Dema or Dema idols, because a lot of traditions around the world, they have this myth where usually a woman, usually a feminine character, has an amazing ability, very goose that lays the golden eggs, and then they die, often because they're betrayed by men, and then in death they cause certain plants to grow, sometimes the most important ones. You see this in Shintoism. I can't think of her name, but she's siblings to Amaterasu, the sun goddess, but she gets killed because who she's serving is disgusted that all the beasts of the field and the rice and all the good things to eat come out of various parts of her body, And so he kills her, and as a result, all these important agricultural products come from different parts of her body. And in Polynesia, it's the weirdest version of the girl that lays or the goose that lays the golden eggs. There's a girl who craps whatever you want, really. if you want a Rolls Royce, she'll crap one out. And the men in that village, they get suspicious of the fact that she can do these things, so they kill her. They bury her alive. Well, her adoptive father, who had found her initially, she had a very Thumbelina type origin. He cuts her into pieces and buries her in different places, and she becomes the important plants that grow in the Polynesian islands. So it's very similar, the story of Lou and his mother. Sometimes it's his grandmother, but that's sort of the origin. So it's a Dema story. It's a story about an individual whose death causes all the plants to thrive. Kind of the opposite in some ways, you could say, of Demeter and Hades. But anyway, I think that answers it. So happy lammas, I guess. Like, share, subscribe, keep asking questions. Bye.